Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Anthony with Edge on Regenerative Medicine Show. I'm so thankful that not only are you here, but we have a very special guest, Dr. Alex Vidan. I am so thankful to have you here. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is great.
Oh, hey, you know what? I've got my Dunder Mifflin cup. I am
There you
ready to
go.
go. I've got the energy. It's in my veins. And guys,
Yes.
guess what? Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
We all say this. Share in social media. Think about this, everyone. One video can help save one person's life. And what I mean by that, save somebody out of pain. There are people out there that are in pain. They have back problems, neck problems, sciatica problems. I can go on. But the story is you might not be in pain, but this video, by you sharing it, you can help get somebody out of pain. Today, we're going to be talking with Dr. Alex. And one of the great things about Dr. Alex is that he travels all around the world, does seminars. He's out of St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And make sure you get your pens down and write this down. If you guys go to drvidan.com, drvidan.com, check his website out. If you're in pain, he'll help you get out. Not only that, he helps doctors get on the news. Now, this is huge, and it's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. And if you can also see right down here on the website, it's all getmeonlocalnews.com, getmeonlocalnews.com. And today, the subject that we're going to be talking about are two things, actually. So attention doctors out there, make sure you share this because you can help doctors out also. And this is also going to be a video on neuropathy. So the title for today is Getting Doctors on the News and Helping People with Neuropathy. So I know that's a long intro, but you know what? I've got my Dunder Mifflin cup. Anyways, with that being said, tell us, how did you get into not just chiropractic, but from chiropractic to the news? I think that's really, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. What I'll say, it's interesting how you worded that too, because really those two things are integrated together. So I got into chiropractic because I ended up suffering from a concussion. I had a couple concussions from playing sports and things like that. And after having my the concussion that got me into it all, I started having these debilitating headaches and migraines. And so I would have 5 to 6 headaches a week. I would usually have 1 to 2 debilitating migraines a month. I suffered like that for about 5 years. And I was pre-med at the time. I was working in a hospital. I was helping out on surgeries, intubating people and all that kind of stuff. Like I was doing everything and right there doing it all. And I could just remember always asking all the doctors that were there because I had access to them. And I would ask them, what can I do? How can I get help? And blah, blah, blah. And I would see specialists and all those things. And it just never fixed anything. The medications, they either maybe not me, or they didn't work, or whatever it was, or the options that they had. I was like, man, I can't do that, or whatever it was. One of my buddies kept on me about getting adjusted. He was like, my chiropractor says that he can help with your headaches. And I was like, man, how in the world is that supposed to help me? I don't have neck pain. I don't have back pain. I don't have any of that. How's that supposed to help me? And he kept on me. And after a while, I was finally like, you know what? I just give me the guy's number and card and all that stuff, and I'll give him a call. So I went in, and I remember, and this goes back to your question about getting on the news. I remember the doc explained everything to me and everything like that. I was like, okay, whatever. And he adjusted me. And from that moment, like, boom, it was like a lightning bolt. And I remember remembering two things right then. Number one, I remembered, that's it. I'm going to be a chiropractor. I'm not going to be a medical doctor. I'm going to be a chiropractor. And number two, I said, I've got to get on TV to let people know about this. Like those were instantly my two thoughts. I had no idea how I was going to do either one of those things. I didn't know how I was going to be a chiropractor because I didn't know anything about that. Like, where do you go? Who do you talk to? All that kind of stuff. And I definitely didn't know anything about being on the news, but I knew those were the two things that had to happen. And it was just like a total God thing. It was just like, boom, there it is. And I trusted in it and went for it. So I went through school, became a chiropractor, and then I kept working to get onto the news. And that's kind of the.
So how did you get onto the news? I mean, I love the fact, and very few people have this. It's called passion. You're excited with the passion, and you can't stop the freight train when that energy. So I love how the transition, very different from a lot of people I've heard. But how the heck did you start getting on the news? Did you stumble into somebody? Were you just so focused on the news that it seemed like it attracted you the right person, or how did that work?
Yeah, no, great question. I tell you what, I kept on working on it, and just kept trying. Like I tried over and over and over. Learned a lot of ways not to do it, and things that would definitely turn people off. And this was where we're talking. I started doing this. I've been doing that now 12 years. So I've been on so many times, right? So I've learned a lot, and we're helping other people do that all over. So the strategies have changed, but the way that it started off with me is that finally somebody gave me a shot. Somebody was finally like, they wanted to give me a shot. They were with this particular news station, and they said, I really want to get you on. It's not working here to get you on the news. So then they went to a different news station because they got a better job offer. And there they asked at one of these meetings, and they said, we need somebody to come on and talk about headaches. And she goes, I got the guy.
Oh my God.
And it's because I had kept on developing that relationship and kept working on it and kept following up and kept on being persistent, not just taking no, but persistent in a valuable way, not persistent in a nagging way. And so eventually when that opportunity came, it was like, we got the guy. This is who we're going to try. And so they gave me a shot, and I would like to say it went without a hitch. Everything was perfect. Oh my gosh, it was great. But that's not the truth. And I know that's definitely not the truth. It was one of those things where it was just good enough for them to go, okay, let's give this guy another shot, and just bad enough to make me go, oh my gosh, where's the trash can? Because I need that next to me while I watch this, when I went back and looked at it.
I'm already thinking in my head, what would I have done to try to get on the news? Like I'm thinking, I'm like, if I knew somebody that was connected with the news, I'd be like, all right, all of you guys, is there anybody here?
Yeah.
Neck pain, back pain, sciatica, I would have found something and said, all right, come on in, and start adjusting and helping. And I'm like, well, as I'm adjusting, you like that, don't you?
Right.
How about getting me on the news anyways?
Yeah. How about we work this out? Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. So, and around what year did that start when you finally got that break to start getting on the news?
Oh man. So I've been doing it now 12 years back. So yeah, I mean, what was that? 2008?
2008?
Yeah. 2008.
So. Interesting year.
Yeah.
Anyways, no pun intended.
Yeah.
So I know there's another thing that you do. I know that just recently, correct me if I'm wrong, I know recently you just were in 15 cities, and you're also an ambassador for, is it China, I believe?
Yeah. For China. Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about that. How that.
So that came about through the International Chiropractic Association, so ICA, and they wanted to start doing work over in China and figure out like, how do we get our message over there in China? China's 1.4 billion people, and a very limited, very small number of chiropractors, around 200 plus or minus. A lot of them aren't really practicing chiropractic. They aren't doing that. They're doing other things, which is fine. They just happen to be chiropractors that are over there. And so they're doing like traditional Chinese medicine and all of that. So they were looking at it and going, hey, what can we do here to help expand that and help grow into that? And there's a lot of initiatives to start making that happen. So they asked me to go over there and be part of a media blitz. And so, I mean, yeah, it was 15 cities in 14 days. I've been back now a couple other times, and I was supposed to go back again, but obviously that's when all this other stuff happened, right? And they've tried to get me back a couple other times. It just hasn't worked out between our schedules. But yeah, the people of China, man, they're awesome. They're great, and just great people, and just like us, having visitors here, just proud of their country, proud of what it is, and so gracious, and great hosts and hostesses. I mean, they're just good people. So
I just want to go just for the top ramen, the soup. I'm not even joking.
What's that?
The soup.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had the top ramen here. I love top ramen. I don't do the whole MSG thing, but better than bouillon because nutrition facts. But my point is, I'm always curious, is their soup better than ours? Because I love soup.
Do you? Yeah, I tell you what, they have so many different ways of doing it over there, like this hot pot that they have and all these things. Like, oh, it's so many different flavors and so many different spices. And I like spicy food, so they would take me to the spicy and all that. And I was like, this is good. This is good.
Wow, that's awesome. And what I was amazed when I saw your video on it. Yeah. Which we're going to make sure that we show that video in the beginning of this, because I just want people to see it. And what was great about it is that I noticed that when they did your live stream, it was in front of 500,000 people. I mean, come on. I mean, hey, talk about the news.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, they did just that, right? So they did that live stream, 500,000 people, 500,000 people saw it right there live, and then more people saw it afterwards, which is crazy. Got to speak at Alibaba's world headquarters, which was awesome there too, and that was all part of that thing as well. And then the last time that I went, which isn't in that video that you're talking about, but the last time that I went, I was on the news there in China. And so I said, so how many viewers do you have? And they go, about 1.2 billion. And I go, no. And I thought, something's getting translated wrong. And I thought,
Right.
no, how many viewers do you have? Like, how many people watch your station? And they go, 1.2 billion people. And I was like, what? And they go, well, we control all the stations here. So they have all the stations. So they're like the top dog. So they control it all. They're like, no, we have all the stations. So it's 1.2 billion people. Everybody's going to see
I can see the guy's face right now. Like, no, he's kind of bummed a little bit. It's like, yeah, we only control 1.2 billion.
Yeah. We missed a couple. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. So I know that you also have a program right now that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Is you have a program that you can actually help doctors get online so they can cut through all the lining and not go through the stuff that you went through.
Yeah. Like to get on the news.
Shows you how what to do, what not to do, and how to get your brand and your company out there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the way that this all started is that people started asking me about, like, how'd you get on the news? How'd you do that? And not just get on one time, but consistently being on over and over, and without paying for it is the key thing, right? So people, you can pay, right? You can do what's called pay to play, and that's fine. And I don't have a problem with people doing that. It's not like I don't look down on it or anything like that. But I find that a lot of times people are looking at it and going, well, how can I do this without paying thousands of dollars every month to be able to do that? What can I do? And so that's what I did. That's how I got started. I didn't pay to be on the news. And so people started asking me, how do you do that? So eventually I started I didn't come out with a program out of any other reason other than it had to be done because of the fact that I needed to have a necessity. Because I started seeing people getting on the news just from the advice I was giving them, but they were messing it up. And then they started messing it up, and they didn't mess it up just for them. They then messed it up for other people in their area to be able to help out too. Because then they just got a bad rap, right? Because they didn't follow the things that they should have done, and they didn't do it the right way. And that's just like anything. If you don't do it the right way, it can have negative consequences. So I looked at it and started saying, look, I need to make sure this doesn't happen again. And so, because I took responsibility for that, and I said, I need to make sure this doesn't happen again. So I'm going to develop a step-by-step process to make sure that people get on the news without having to pay for it. And then what they need to do in order to not just be on one time, but to get on time and time and time and time again. So we've then taken that and developed a program to be able to do that, and then go, well, we're going to do everything as far as sending the pitches for you. We'll do all of that kind of stuff and everything. I teach you how to be on the news and what to do whenever you're on, and then how to make sure that you consistently get on from there forward. And so that's it. It's just, let's do that to where we have this consistent process so that you're not on once or twice, you're on month after month and week after week and all that.
So is this basically only for doctors? Because what if there's somebody that does something else other than a doctor? Would they be able to learn from this, or is this just a specific niche that you kind of mastered?
So I will say that right now it's a niche. I've had other areas where I've had like mortgage brokers, and I've had attorneys, and I've had other people, oral care providers like dentists, orthodontists, oral surgeons, reach out to me in the same capacity, and I've helped them. But the system currently isn't set to go wide right now. It's set to just go deep into a narrow group and subset. But we can help other people with it. It's just kind of figuring out logistically how to make all that work. It's not something that we say no to. It's just, all right, well, we got to talk a little bit more to figure out, is this going to be the right fit? Because I want to make sure it's the right fit for people. There's certainly people where I'll talk to them and I'll go, I don't think this is really what you want to do, or this isn't the right fit, or it's not going to be good because of this, that, or the other. But for other people, it's like, oh, this is going to be really good because of this, that, and the other, right? So we work through all that. I don't just go, oh yeah, let's start,
I love the fact that you have something that you can actually help, your colleagues out.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of doctors out there that are right now, not sure on how to do that, or they're like, I don't have the finances.
Right.
And, our doctors out there, make sure you call Dr. Alex. The phone number's on the
Yeah.
screen. Ask for him, and I'm sure he'll get back with you right away. But one more question on the show. What would you recommend for somebody that is, say, right now struggling with their immune system, as we know that right now we're in a kind of switching the gears a little bit, but right now that we're in interesting times, I like to say.
Sure.
And I know that right now the most important thing, it's always important, it's just becoming more important now about our immune system, because to fight anything for viruses or anything like that. What is something that you recommend, and why people should be seeing a chiropractor a lot more than ever right now?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I mean, as far as it goes, I look at it this way, that the best way to protect yourself from anything that's out there, that in these interesting times that we're in, right, is to make sure that you have a strong immune system, right? And so we know things like nutrition and sleep, and I mean, Cornell University or Columbia University talks about the fact of doing things like, meditation and how it decreases stress, right? We know that whenever stress is high, that it affects your immune system. It affects how your body then can fight off and defend things. So it's, what are things that we can do as far as decreasing that stress? Because right now our baseline of stress is higher than it ever has been before. And because of that, and that's not just here in the US and North America, that's all over the place. So anything that we can do to help decrease stress is going to help with our immune function. Mm-hmm. So nutritional aspects for sure, making sure that we're doing that. As far as getting adjusted goes, I find my patients will tell me, look, consistently over years, I would be not getting adjusted. And I noticed that my family, that we were getting sick on a regular basis, like consistently multiple times throughout the year. Since we've been coming here, we don't get sick that often, right? We don't get sick like we used to in the past. And that's what they report to me. And whenever I talk to other chiropractors across the US and across the world, they're saying the same thing. They're like, yeah, my patients tell me that too. They tell me that patients that consistently are getting chiropractic care, they aren't getting as sick as often as they used to as well. And so when we start to look at those things and put that together, it's like, why wouldn't we want a strong nervous system function like it's supposed to? Why wouldn't we want a strong digestive system? Why wouldn't we want like all these things that we can have to make sure that we keep our defenses up? I look at it a lot of times and we go, well, why is it that one person in the family gets sick and the other people don't? Is it just a random fact? Why is it that one person on the plane got sick and some of the people around them did and other people don't, right? Is it just random? Or is it that other people have stronger immune systems at that point in time to be able to fight that off? So the more that we can do to build up our immune systems and make sure that we're decreasing stress so it's not taxing on our immune system, whatever that happens to be within that, like those are going to be good things. And look, chiropractic helps with stress. We know that because there's research out of Japan that talks about cortisol levels. And we know that cortisol is the hormone that's typically associated with stress, right? And so when we start to see that, we start to go, okay, this is where the hormone levels, if you look at the research out of Japan, this is where the hormone levels before the adjustment were, and after the adjustment, this is where they are. Right here, I'm in St. Louis. They did the same thing with heart rate variability. Harvard University says that heart rate variability is one of those determining factors as far as how your body handles stress.
Right.
So with that, they looked at it and they go, okay, this is your heart rate variability now. Once you get adjusted, your heart rate variability is actually better, which is a good thing. That's what we want. We want it to be better and stronger. And so because of that, that's just with an adjustment. Those things all are responses to stress. So things that we can do to help our body handle stress better is going to allow our body to function better. And since immune function and stress are so intricately linked, then we need to make sure that we're doing that too.
I love the way you put that. And it's so true. I feel that number one right now, people are saying, hey, you know what? I'm stressed out. Well, number one, turn off the news. Yeah. I mean, hey, that'll take care of 50% right now.
Sure.
Number two, we need to be taking care of our bodies. It's like when you hit the vehicle, you put gasoline in it, you don't put oil in it.
Right.
That's what a lot of people are doing. They're putting oil in their bodies, eating those fast foods. And I'll tell you what, their toxins right now, people's toxins are getting a lot being released because they're not having those fast food anymore.
Withdrawal, right?
No, total withdrawal, but at the same time, it's helping their immune system.
Yes.
Working out is, I know, a huge
Oh,
thing,
sure.
you know, keep things going. But are there anything that you do currently right now? So let's say if I was a patient,
Mhm.
and I know that you guys also help people with neuropathy stuff,
Sure.
headaches,
Sure.
migraines, stuff like that. But how would that look like if somebody like myself were to come to your office and let's say I have, I don't know, a knee problem or
Yeah.
a foot problem with neuropathy? How would that look?
So for us, we're going to evaluate and figure out like what's going to be right for that particular patient, right? And we're going to take all of our tools that we have access to right there and go, okay, this is what we can do to help. And is there anybody else that we need on your healthcare team to bring into that picture as well? And then we'll do what's called co-managing that care, right? So if we look at it and go, hey, what are they doing over there? And what can we do on our end to make sure that we're taking a team approach so that you get the best results possible? And then we figure out what's going to be the right path. We can alter that path and redirect and change. But our big thing is we want to evaluate, figure out what's going on, then we're going to treat accordingly and provide the care that's needed at that person for that time. So for us, it's going to be, yeah, do we need to adjust? And we find for the vast majority of people, we do, right? And then we're going to figure out like, okay, what kind of therapeutic exercises or rehab do we need to do? What kind of physiotherapy do we need to do that's here too? What kind of home care exercises? So we make it an encompassing kind of a thing to where we're working within all of this to make sure that the patient gets the best results possible. We're doing reevaluations along the way to determine, all right, are they progressing the way that we would expect and the way that we determined from the get? And so when we start to do all that, because of the fact that we take that unique approach, because of that, and we take an encompassing approach, we start to get the results that we want.
I love it. So do you also throw in there to kind of see what they're eating too? Because I know that a lot of the foods that we eat can affect.
Oh, greatly can affect all that, right? So the nutritional aspects of that can be, the ramifications of that can be huge. So we definitely make sure that we talk to them about those things and make sure that we're bringing that in. That's not a heavy component of what we do, just to be candid about it, as in because we aren't nutritionists,
Right.
right? But we do talk about like, hey, these are some things that are going to have negative effects on you if you're doing this, and this is what you're having going on. You've got a lot of inflammation because of that fast food or because of this. And so anything we can do to reduce that and make it better for them is going to be good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got a phone call from my dad a couple days ago. Actually, my mom. My mom is always telling on my dad.
Yeah.
And so he has neuropathy, in his foot, and he hasn't had pain in a long time because he's been doing what I've been telling him to do.
Yeah.
And long story short, she goes, yeah, he woke up at 2 a.m, was in so much pain. I go, let me talk to dad. So I'm talking to him. Are you walking? You walk doing your exercises now? Okay. What are you eating? He goes, well, I've been eating a lot of rice. I go,
Yeah.
I know you got some chocolate in there. I know you too well.
Yeah.
Ever since we were kids, he would hide his chocolate. And he goes, yeah, a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
I go, all right, you need to get off that. You're hurting yourself.
Right.
You're hurting yourself because now you have the inflammation. Now the blood flow is no longer going like this. It's going,
right.
And then that's where the pain's at. So people don't realize, and I feel like people, if you're not seeing a chiropractor at least 3 times a month, at least, this is going to get out of alignment. I know right now I'm due for a fact.
Right.
And and everybody, if you're getting these migraines, you're getting shooting up pain in here, you're getting heatness, lower back, you need a chiropractor. In a quick story, I remember when, because I do a lot of traveling for seminars, and I went to one seminar and my migraine would just not go away for like 2 days. And I knew what I needed to do. It's not like I'm just going to adjust myself, but I flew out there with a bunch of chiropractors. I was like, yes, thank you. I'm at church, baby.
Yeah, so, this is my place.
Yeah, this is my place. I feel the healing hands. So within 5 minutes, I go, hey doc, I need a quickie, man.
Yeah.
And slap me up, boom, 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 bop. And then I was like, pain is gone. And so that's how important having a chiropractor is. And I'm going to kind of go back just a little bit. I normally don't do this, but we were talking about the news and getting doctors online. What are some of the things that you can say right now? Why chiropractors? Why it's so important right now for chiropractors to get on the news and not to be waiting.
Yeah, well, I'll say, I mean, number one right now is something that you went back to earlier, that you said everybody is watching the news all day long right now. Like the ratings for the news is through the roof. I mean, it's through the roof. Everybody's watching right now. I just did a segment talking about some of the things that I mentioned here before about chiropractic and stress and adjusting and everything like that. I was supposed to have, it was supposed to be like, my normal segment is like 3.5 to 5 minutes long. And that's pretty long. Like that's a good solid segment. There was an emergency going on. So they had emergency announcement that came on. So they had to cut it short. They go, Doc, you've got 60 seconds. What can you give us in 60 seconds?
Wow.
I was like, give it to me. Let's go. And so I did what I could do. And then they're like, oh, that was great. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this in all these other places because it's information that we know people need. So they ran that another dozen times. And so we've gotten phone calls from patients that would, or people out in our community that would have never really heard us or seen us because of that news segment, because everybody's watching the news. And so with that, it's just, it's an incredible opportunity right now because everyone's eyeballs are so glued to the news. It's just running constantly. And we have a unique opportunity to reach those people right now that have been praying for you, have been begging for you, have been searching for you. They just didn't know that you were even an option. They didn't know that it was something that you could even help with. Like me, whenever I started off in chiropractic, I had no idea chiropractic could change my life as much as it did by just getting rid of the headaches and the migraines, not to mention everything else that it's done for me health-wise and everything else. It's just when I start to look at it, my life is better because of chiropractic. And that's what I see for my patients too. So why wouldn't I want to get that message out there to more and more people? And I know that there's other docs out there that feel the same way. They're like, it's not just for me, it's not about me. It's for the community. It's for those people that are out there that are praying for you and going, I have no other options. What am I supposed to do? My life is in shambles. I don't understand, or I'm in pain, or I can't do this, or I can't do these other things in my life because of this issue that we can help with. And so that's why.
That's huge with what you just said. And I just cannot stress this enough. And I wish more people would talk about this. You have two types of doctors. You have chiropractors that are specialists, and they're just not cracking your back. And that's old school from the 50s, around 70 years ago. They do a lot more. They're in nutrition. A lot of them are in neuropathy, a lot of them in regenerative medicine. And we have to realize that I call them the outthinkers. They think outside the box. They're not, old school was in the box. Then you have your other doctor, everyone. The doctor, when you go and you tell them you're in pain and they give you a bunch of pills with a little white bag with a $60 copay or whatever it is, and you got to pay for that monthly. And it helps you for a little bit. But guess what? It's just a Band-Aid.
Doesn't fix the problem.
And then you get a stronger dose and another stronger dose. And the next you know, you're on your deathbed. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. People need to hear this. If you're doing that, stop. See your chiropractor. You will be amazed. Not trying to get all emotional here. It's just that's the truth. And not enough people are saying it. So, but yeah, so with that being said, I know that right there is kind of deep, but I feel that more people need to realize how important you guys are, and you guys play a vital point in our time right now.
Yeah.
And, I just can't stress that enough. And, but with that being said, I want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me bring the pattern interruption. So, within that high note, I just want to say thank you so much for being on our show. And I'm excited that people are going to see this video and people are going to call you, and, doctors are going to call you to get on the news. Doctors, make sure you call Dr. Alex. People, you need help. Dr. Alex is in the St. Louis, Missouri area. What are the surrounding areas that people you see that are coming to see you?
Yeah, we have a pretty wide net that, because of where we're located. We're really centrally located. We're in an area called Brentwood. And so we've got like Clayton, and we've got Ladue, and we've got Frontenac, and we've got South County. Like we've got the city, we've got West End, like we've got U City, we've got all these areas that are around us, Richmond Heights, all of that, Maplewood. I say that just because it's a big area that we pull from. I mean, we have people that are driving to us from an hour away to come in and get taken care of and everything. And they're doing that on a consistent basis. And we've got people that are making a 2-hour drive to come each way. It's 2 hours to come to us and then 2 hours back. And it's great that we get to help the people that we get to help. And I'm always for, if we're not going to be the right fit, let me find somebody that is. and let me help somebody. Because the big thing is that I've been there, I've seen people like that, and I've seen people that we can help. And if we're not going to be right fit, let us help you find somebody else that is, because it's still something. When we find out that it's something that somebody needs, it's like,
Right.
let us help you. Even if it's not us that helps you, let us find somebody else to help you. So
Listen, I love it. I love your passion. I love your story. And everyone, make sure that you go to drvidan.com. And chiropractors out there that want to get on the news, because you need to get on the news right now. Chiropractors, right now is not the time to go like this.
Right.
It's the time to go this way.
Yeah.
Stay strong, and make sure you go to getmeonlocalnews.com. Anyways, have a great day, doctor, and everybody in the world. God bless you all. It's going to be okay.